Okay, so as we're live, hopefully we are good. Welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge. My name is energyhealingschool.com. As always, I'm going to walk you through my journaling process and share some real-life examples along the way. So as we get started, I try to get my mindset ready to do my journaling, right? Because sometimes we just have stuff going on. So we kind of just want to focus and allow whatever needs to come up. Because again, healing is a journey and it is a lifestyle, right? It's something that we intentionally set some time for and allow to occur and do the action that we need to take. Self-care, I write that out as is an acronym. The letter S is for self. So we want to increase our self-awareness in mind, body, and spirit, right? The physical, so root chakra energy, really grounding into the physical, our body. Which is massive for empaths, right? When we're usually kind of up here in the higher vibrational chakras, wide open, unprotected, oftentimes absorbing everything around us, right? So this helps us ground into us and detach from all the other stuff a bit. That we get away from it completely. If we could do that, then we probably wouldn't be an empath, right? We also include beliefs. So in my signature system of best you, the letter B is beliefs, which are rooted into our human experience, right? It is how we experience this life, really. Gives us that perspective and just shapes it for us, if you will. And then again, of course, the root chakra energy. So then next, I'm going to kind of set the stage. I have my mind focused. I'm aware of looking at today. I write down the journal prompt. And today's is, as an empath, do you avoid self-awareness? And regardless whether you come up with some yeses or nos or sometimes or whatever it may be, I added how so. So you could expand that a little bit because sometimes these questions are kind of closed questions and we could cheat just a little bit and just say yes or no, right? But that's not really journaling. So how so? Allow ourselves again to sit with it a little bit, see what comes up, explore it, be expansive. So what came up for me, some of those real life examples, is that oftentimes empaths are more aware of their surroundings, right? Hypersensitive to the things around us, including other people and their emotions and needs. So how many of you get sucked into other people's stuff? You feel it. People come to you. They talk to you about it. You want to help, right? So the focus in your energy, you're wide open, you're connected, and it's all away from you. Meaning your attention, your awareness is away from you. Not the feelings or the energy, that's gotcha, but your attention is away from you. Let's see. So then when empaths are focused or over hyper aware, sometimes when you journal, it doesn't make sense. Like, just side note real quick, when you open yourself up to journal, sometimes it's journaling as well. Grammar isn't a thing. Right? Sometimes spelling isn't even a thing. It gets a little chicken scratchy, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So when empaths are focused, hyper aware of the energy outside of self, we get overwhelmed and burned out, right? So empaths can absorb so much around them that they are unaware of themselves. So how many times do we talk about, is this mine? The Empathic Healers Masterclass, right? Setting the boundaries, protecting your energy. That was a big step in there, is being able to determine what is mine and what isn't. It's necessary to ground your body and detach from the emotions and energy that is not yours in order to become aware of what is, right? So then what else came up was sometimes we intentionally avoid self-awareness. But why? that question, right? That's my digging word. Why? Again, people say you shouldn't ask why. I'm asking it. Sorry, not sorry. It's my digging word. I like to dig, go deeper. So one reason that came up for me of a reason that we might intentionally avoid self-awareness is the level of uncomfortability. It feels strange because absorbing everything around you feels normal, quote unquote, right? So when something is different, it's just uncomfortable. So when you're not used to grounding into your body, when you're not used to detaching from all the energy around you, it might feel strange at first. That's okay. But having that awareness, giving yourself that break, right? Allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you're going to feel. Another could be that fear, like fear of what we will see and feel. So how many of you have heard that you're too sensitive or you're strange, crazy, quote unquote, or you're too much or you're paranoid, right? So is there that fear that maybe they're right? What if I am just too sensitive? What if I am quote unquote crazy? What if I am weird? Is there a fear in that, right? So then we avoid being aware of ourselves because we just don't know what we might see or what we'll find, right? Let me see what else. We may have a difficult time admitting our mistakes, our faults. And it's comical to me because I intended to write as I was flowing, right? I intended to write poor decisions and I literally wrote poop decisions. Same thing, same thing. So we increase the blame, shame, and guilt from our inner critic. So those old programs coming up, right? That fear of being not good enough. What do we find when we sit with ourselves? What do we find when we get to know who we are? What do you find when you get to know you? What do you find when you become more self-aware? What shows up? Is there an old wound that needs your attention and you're trying not to let it come up, right? Because it hurts. We don't want to see that anymore. We're trying to be done with that, keep shoving it aside, maybe. So avoidance patterns, also codependency patterns, right? Avoidance is, not saying always, but avoidance can be a codependency pattern. Again, having fear of not being good enough, fear of more, and when we do that very well to ourselves, right? Excuse me, fear of others rejecting us again, fear of abandonment. There's many reasons why we could be avoiding ourselves, avoiding seeing what is ours, avoiding taking the attention off of everyone else and rescuing others and rescuing ourselves first. So a key I wanted to bring up again is that receiving the source of unconditional love that we talked about just yesterday, right? When we can open ourselves up to receiving that unconditional love from God, Source, Creator, Pure Spirit, Universe, whatever name you give. Being able to get into that space of our highest self, your true self, allowing yourself, it's kind of like cutting you some slack instead of being that ego part of the human, the inner critic, the judger, right? The one that wants to beat you up with blame, shame, and guilt. Rising up above that with your inner source of unconditional love to be that observer, to be aware that you are having a human experience. And you know what? It's pretty stinking normal that you're going to have faults. And it's pretty stinking normal that you're going to make poor decisions. And it's pretty stinking normal that you make mistakes. Right? So it's releasing that blame, shame, and guilt because we know there's a higher purpose for things. We know that we came here to have this human experience. And if it was going to be quote unquote perfect with no faults, no mistakes, no choices or decisions, and just everything was based on whose judgment, I don't know, because it's all humanness, then we probably wouldn't bother. And to be fair, what would be the purpose of coming? Just saying. So switching into that other perspective so that we can then increase our self-awareness. So you can put some more focus on you and be you, right? So again, be you challenge. It's not launched yet, it's coming. But if you want to get it in pre-launch to save 50%, use the coupon code PRELAUNCH. It's also in the description of this video as a reminder in case you forget. So just to review some root chakra energy, remember when it's wonky, our technical term, you might struggle with like eating disorders, your weight, sciatica, elimination, issues with your hips or knees, like your joints, your hands, your lower extremities. Well, hands aren't lower, but also your lower extremities. You may also experience fears and insecurities, having those trauma reactions, right? Being in fight, flight, freeze mode, depression, anxiety. So a few things that we can do to support the energy in our root chakra is grounding into your body, right? Use your 5 senses to feel into your body, to really hear you, like listening. You just listen, but you're really just listening to you, having that awareness of what comes up, right? That meditation. Feel things, even just this, the physical touch. Feel it. It brings your awareness to this very moment, right? I like to pay attention to the bottom of my feet. Standing, sitting, lying down. Just focus on the intention of the bottom of my feet, and that helps draw me into and ground into my body. What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you see? Take a look around you. Really describe what you see. Don't just glance at it and do it real quick. The more descriptive you can get as you're looking at stuff around you, it helps bring you more into this present moment. And of course, solfeggio frequencies, my favorite. The solfeggio frequency that resonates with the root chakra is 396 hertz. So let me know how you were doing in your journaling process. If you feel comfortable, drop it in the comments and share what came up for you with this question. Do you avoid self-awareness? Do you think you purposely focus outside of you to avoid you? How do you do that? Like, are you aware of the ways that you do that you avoid you? And are you ready to dig a little deeper and say, why? What is it that what is the reason that you are avoiding you? Sharing your time and space with me. I hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, whatever time in the world it is for you. I've noticed that Zoom cuts me off at the end of the video. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to try to give it a second so it'll actually keep it. But take good care of you, and I will see you